Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the most pivotal battles in history, exploring the strategic context, operational art, and human cost of conflict. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to examine one of the most significant naval engagements of the ancient world, the Battle of Mylae. Located off the coast of modern-day Italy, the Battle of Mylae was a clash between two mighty navies that would shape the course of Mediterranean history. But before we dive into the heat of battle, let's set the stage by exploring the origins of this conflict. The year was 260 BC, and the world was witnessing the rise of two superpowers, Rome and Carthage. In the early 3rd century BC, Rome had begun to expand its territories, seeking to consolidate its power in the Italian peninsula. Meanwhile, Carthage, a Phoenician colony in North Africa, had established itself as a dominant maritime force, with a vast network of trade routes and colonies stretching from Spain to Sicily. The strategic island of Sicily, with its fertile soil, rich resources, and critical location at the crossroads of the Mediterranean, was a prized possession for both powers. The city of Messina, situated on the northeastern tip of Sicily, controlled the Strait of Messina, a narrow waterway separating the island from mainland Italy. This strategic location made it a crucial hub for trade and navigation, and both Rome and Carthage sought to exert their influence over the region. The Romans had already established a foothold in southern Italy, while the Carthaginians had a strong presence in western Sicily. The spark that ignited the conflict was the Roman intervention in the affairs of Messina in 264 BC. The city, which had been under Carthaginian control, appealed to Rome for help against the rival city of Syracuse. The Romans, seeing an opportunity to expand their influence and challenge Carthage's dominance, sent a fleet to support the Messenians. This move was seen as a provocation by the Carthaginians, who responded by sending their own fleet to the region. The stage was set for a clash of titans as the Romans and Carthaginians vied for control of the Mediterranean. The city of Mylae, located on the northern coast of Sicily, would become the focal point of this conflict as both navies converged on its strategic harbor. The fate of the region hung in the balance as the two superpowers prepared to engage in a battle that would determine the course of history. The Battle of Mylae was not just a clash of navies, it was a struggle for dominance, a test of strength and strategy that would shape the course of Mediterranean history. The primary events of the Battle of Mylae are about to unfold, with all their drama, strategy, and bloodshed. The year is 260 BC, and the Roman consul, Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio Asina, has been tasked with leading the Roman fleet against the Carthaginians. The Romans have developed a new type of warship, the corvus, which features a boarding bridge that allows Roman soldiers to transfer onto enemy vessels. This innovative design gives the Romans a significant advantage in close combat, as they can now engage the Carthaginian ships with their superior infantry. The Carthaginians, under the command of Hannibal Gisco, are a formidable foe with a fleet of swift and maneuverable triremes. However, the Roman corvus proves to be a game-changer, as the Romans are able to grapple and board the Carthaginian ships with ease. The Carthaginians, on the other hand, rely on their speed and agility to evade the Roman boarding parties. As the battle rages on, the Romans gain the upper hand, sinking or capturing several Carthaginian ships. The Carthaginians, however, refuse to yield, and the fight becomes increasingly intense. The Roman consul, Scipio Asina, proves himself to be a skilled and courageous commander, leading by example and inspiring his troops to fight on. One of the most notable aspects of the Battle of Mylae is the use of tactical maneuvers by both sides. The Romans employ a clever tactic, using their corvus-equipped ships to form a crescent-shaped line, which allows them to surround and attack the Carthaginian vessels from multiple angles. The Carthaginians, on the other hand, attempt to use their speed to outflank the Roman fleet, but are ultimately thwarted by the Roman defensive formation. The Battle of Mylae is a resounding victory for the Romans, with the Carthaginians suffering significant losses in ships and men. The Roman fleet, having secured control of the seas, is now free to support the Roman army's campaigns in Sicily, marking a major turning point in the war. The Carthaginians, however, are far from defeated, and the war will continue for many years to come. As we reflect on the Battle of Mylae, it becomes clear that this engagement was not just a clash of navies, but a struggle for dominance and control of the Mediterranean. The innovative tactics and technology employed by both sides, particularly the Roman corvus, demonstrate the ingenuity and adaptability of ancient naval warfare. The Roman victory at Mylae marked a significant turning point in the war, as it secured control of the seas for the Romans and allowed them to support their army's campaigns in Sicily. The Carthaginians, however, were far from defeated, and the war would continue for many years to come. Despite this, the Battle of Mylae had a profound impact on the balance of power in the Mediterranean, as it demonstrated the superiority of Roman naval tactics and technology. In the years following the battle, the Romans continued to expand their control over the Mediterranean, establishing a strong presence in Sicily and eventually driving the Carthaginians out of the island. The Carthaginians, meanwhile, regrouped and reassessed their strategy, ultimately leading to the development of new naval tactics and technologies. One of the most significant consequences of the Battle of Mylae was the development of Roman naval supremacy. The Romans continued to innovate and improve their naval technology, eventually developing the quinquereme, a larger and more advanced warship that would become the backbone of the Roman fleet. This supremacy would allow the Romans to project power across the Mediterranean, establishing a vast network of trade routes, colonies, and client states. The Battle of Mylae also had a lasting impact on naval warfare, as it introduced the concept of boarding actions and the use of specialized warships designed for close combat. The Roman corvus, with its innovative boarding bridge, proved to be a game-changer in naval battles, allowing the Romans to grapple and board enemy vessels with ease. This tactic would be adopted by other navies, including the Carthaginians, who developed their own versions of the corvus. Today, the Battle of Mylae is remembered as a pivotal moment in ancient history, marking the beginning of Roman naval supremacy and the expansion of Roman power across the Mediterranean. The innovative tactics and technologies employed during the battle continue to influence naval warfare, with modern navies still employing similar tactics and strategies. As the Greek historian Polybius once said, "The Battle of Mylae was a most remarkable and memorable contest, which showed that the Romans were not only superior in land battles but also in naval engagements." This sentiment is echoed by modern historians, who recognize the significance of the Battle of Mylae in shaping the course of ancient history. In conclusion, the Battle of Mylae was a turning point in the war between Rome and Carthage, marking the beginning of Roman naval supremacy and the expansion of Roman power across the Mediterranean. The innovative tactics and technologies employed during the battle continue to influence naval warfare today, and its legacy can be seen in the modern navies that patrol the world's oceans. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.